Alright, this is a 2011 Nissan Maxima, 130,000 miles. Has a problem. I think it's PO. I forget what the code is, but it says a solenoid is stuck, so I'm thinking it's just a valve body. I picked it up. I bought this car because I missed having a Maxima. I bought it with the transmission problem, and I bought a new valve body, a new manufacturer one. It has all the sensors, everything renewed. So we have that. We got oil can filter, and the lining for the gasket for the pan. We got the outside filter, and then we got our Nissan official CVT oil fluid and transmission cooler flush. All right, let's get started. All right, that's a T55, I believe. Let's see. Yep. Already tidy lifty loosey. God. Let me use both my hands so I don't strip this up. Ooh, you can see that it's burnt black. Can't save none of this. Got my wrist. I'm gonna let that drain. Yuck. All these bolts around it are 10 millimeter. And crack those. Oh crap. No metal in the pan. All right, so now I'm gonna take off these bolts to get the filter off. All right, so this is the filter. I think I might got some oil on the camera, but it's clean. All right, so good news is no metal in the pan. That filter's pretty clean as well. It's draining right now. I'm guessing these are the bolts that are a different size that I need to remove. So I need to watch out for the sizes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's another 5 or 6 down at that end. I'm missing something. I don't know. These right here go for this, so I'll put those back on there and take those off. It's loose, but obviously I'm missing something. I didn't take this off. I don't know if this needs to come out maybe. And no, I got all these out, excuse me. Got all these out too. And it needs to drain obviously some more. So I'm gonna let it drain while I look at those diagrams. I'm wondering if it's this bolt right here that's keeping it locked in. I'm not sure. So I had to unplug. There's a plug here, a plug there, and another one that's actually on the thing. Let's look at the belt. And the CVT. Can you see that? Let's get it there. Everything in there looks good and clean. It's very clean in there. Hopefully I just got a bad solenoid. We're gonna see. The old valve body. This is the old valve body. Let's compare it to the new one. So this came in the mail and this is not attached. And I don't know how to put that back on there. And so this is the old one. What can we do about this? How black this is. And I think the Nissan transmission fluid is never red or anything like that. It's bad. All right, so I'm headed to pick up the battery. That's old oil, that's transmission fluid. We're gonna take that Drop it off. So I decided while the car is draining, I'm gonna take the battery over to AutoZone. See if I can get it charged for free. AutoZone allows you to recycle your oil free of charge. And they dispose of it in a way that is environmentally friendly. When I come back, I took the wheel off already. I'm going to go through there and change the outside filter, transmission filter. And I got to figure out how to flush the transmission cooler. These are size 12. There we go. That's the problem. Right there. I can get the ratchet. Righty tighty, lefty loose. All right, now that I got this loose, I'm gonna take these and squeeze those off. And I have a genuine Nissan replacement filter. Alright, so we're gonna do that. I'm not gonna be able to show you that because I need two hands. There's a new one there. Now it's gonna move these back down where they go. And there we have it, back together. Tested to make sure they are tight. We're good to go. I'm gonna put the panel back on the side. Also in this one, on yours, this is missing. It's not on there. Anyway. All right, so I installed this. Guess that's the way it works. So that is installed. I didn't see any like washers or anything that came out when I pulled this out of the other one. And this is installed already on the bottom of my car, so I'm not gonna try to pull it out and do that. I'm just gonna plug it straight up in there. Make sure all these connectors are good. And I forgot what, I have to make sure this connects to. I did miss something, there was a spring. So there it is. So we got that good. I'm gonna get some kind of epoxy glue or something to glue that screen back on there. Just hit it right on the corners. And I should be good to go. I got two of these. It's called lip seal lip. Two of them. 1, 2. They go here. I took the old ones out. I'm just gonna put these new ones in there. And I got those two seals. They're seated in place. Now it's time to put the valve body back in. One mechanic told me to take a box off. It's the only box I think that comes off. And told me to put this one to here, and I should not have to program this transmission, so we're gonna try it. Hopefully this works. All right, man, I'm getting nervous. It said don't pinch the harness. I try not to pinch it. It is above this though. It's on top of this. See how it goes up there. Let me know if that's right, please. I don't think it's any other way that it could be though. All right. This sensor right here came off the old transmission. And got one bolt right there, it's loose. Let me just check on my bolts real quick. Gear selector is intact. Tighten down properly. Tight. Everything is tight. We're good to go now. I can put the pan on. And the gas. I'm gonna clean this and put the gasket on. Be right back. Okay, I did go and clean out my pan. All right, so we got all our bolts here. And I think I'm gonna use the same gasket that came off of it, to be honest. This is a higher quality gasket than the one I bought. So I'm gonna clean the gasket first, and then I'm going to reinstall it. And it's back on, all bolts are tight, snug, and then gotta over tighten them. We're ready to add the transmission fluid, but I think I'm gonna blow out the cooler first, the transmission cooler. All right, so here I decided not to blow out the transmission cooler, only because I didn't find any metal in my pan, no metal in my filter. And when I was reading and researching it, and I could be wrong because, you know, again, I'm not a technician. Somebody else was saying you can only flush it one way. The tech that I was talking to was saying flush it both ways. Somebody else said don't flush it both ways. You could damage it and all this stuff. But since I didn't have any metal or foreign material and any of that stuff, I assumed that there's nothing inside of that cooler, inside of the transmission cooler. Also, I put the new outside filter, so anything that is in there should be caught by that filter. And it probably was like a little bit of the transmission fluid in there, but like I said, I drained everything as much as I could, so I skipped that part. Sorry. Right, so I put 8. I believe this thing takes 10 things of transmission fluid, but it may be some still in there, so I wanted to kind of put the 8 in there, start with the 8, and then let the car warm up and stuff, get the temperature, and then go from there. So now I got to find a battery to put in this thing, because the battery that was in here is toast. Right, got it together. This is a moment of truth. Pray for me. Hopefully this thing works. Okay, the car went in gear. He's driving. Let's see if it does. It feels a little sluggish or something though. Let me stop being negative. Might need to add more fluid because it is low, like 2 quarts. Yeah, nah, this ain't it. Just trying to slip. Probably just need to get that 2 quarts. I should be good. Let's see. Yeah, it's riding. I probably do need to go add that 2 quarts though. Pull it over and check it. Windshields. So it turns out it's just a valve body. I replaced it today. Well, it took me 2 days to do it because it gets dark so quickly. But I'm driving in it right now. It runs amazing. Got the panoramic roof in it. Man. Yep. Just want to let you know that. So I fixed the car. It was the valve body. You see, I'm going up the hills and everything. It's a shame that these dealerships get these cars and they're telling people they got to pay $7,000 without first trying that valve body. I think I paid $250 for the valve body. I put it in myself. Took me 2 days because I ran out of light, and I just had to change the fluid. The filter was still good, so I used that. The actual filter, the pan gasket was good. That is a shame. They making people do that, and they probably not even replacing the whole transmission. They're probably just buying valve bodies and put them into the car. So I got lucky with this one because there was no metal in the pan. Had it been metal in the pan, that's probably the belt. But if it's not, like that thing, it was saying a switch was stuck, so I bought basically like a remanufactured one, and they rebuilt all of the sensors or whatever you call those things in the Honda. Yeah, it needed to be detailed because all the stuff didn't come off, and I was like for 20 minutes probably trying to get everything off, but it looks better than it did for sure. If you can use a wrench, you can do this yourself. Some takeaways that I wanted to point out: the bolts. As soon as you take the bolts out of the pan, take those bolts and put them in the pan, separate them from the rest of the bolts. Then you're gonna have different size bolts that are inside of the valve body. They're like 4 different sizes, but some of them, they look like they're the same size. They are not. So if I could do one thing different, and this is probably not even the best way to do it, I'm not a mechanic, but this is what I would do if I was doing it again. I would get me a couple of different colors of touch-up paint, and every time I take out a bolt from that valve body, I would paint the top of it, just say red, and then I'll paint the hole. I'll dry the hole, get all of the grease off, and just put a little bit of paint right there on that hole, so I know when I go put the new valve body, I can use that one as a point of reference. So use as many colors as you need to use, because some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. And since I'm not a mechanic, that's the way I would do it. I would put them all back inside of the same holes that I know for a fact they came out of. But overall, I did figure it out, but it was a pain in the butt trying to figure out, because some of those things they look really close, but they're not the same size. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. Like and subscribe.